Hi guys, it's Kristen. Welcome back to my homeschool channel. I am so excited to be back here in this space. I appreciate all of the support you guys showed me on my most recent homeschool video, kind of getting back into this. I'm just so excited to have the time to be able to come on here and just share about one of my favorite things, which is homeschooling. So in this video today, I'm going to be sharing about our experience with the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts curriculum. We have been using their language arts curriculum from the very beginning. So I used it with my daughter in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and then I used the pre-K with my boys, then the primer, and then the level K with them as well. So I'm going to be sharing about our experience. I'm going to be sharing about how it has worked for us over the years and also the ways that it has not worked for us. And also I'm going to be sharing whether or not we are going to be continuing with this language arts program this coming year. So before I get into it, I do just want to put a disclaimer out here that this is these videos are in no way meant to hurt companies, these curriculum companies in any way. I feel like mothers come to YouTube to get honest, look inside, and then to just hear from real moms who are using these curriculums and seeing how they work in their homeschools. So I think The Good and the Beautiful is a fantastic company. I mean, there are standards. Pretty much every way that you can measure a company, they are just like top notch. Their morals, standard, I mean, just everything that they stand for is awesome. I love them as a company, but this video is in no way sponsored or affiliated with them at all. These are all my own thoughts. I purchased all of this curriculum myself, and so let's get right into it. So like I've mentioned in other videos, some of the things that I love about The Good and the Beautiful is everything that it entails in their language arts curriculum. So right on the front, this one's falling apart. We used it last year. Phonics, reading, spelling, writing, grammar and punctuation, literature, poetry and memorization, art and geography, all in the language arts book, which has been awesome for us. I love how it includes really great like stories and then art appreciation, things like that, a little bit of geography thrown in. It's just open and go. It tells you exactly what to say. Read this to your child, and then it gives you like the answers even, like if you happen to not know what it is that they're asking for, it'll even tell you the answers in parentheses there. So they work on sight words and spelling. I mean, it is a robust, full language arts curriculum, no doubt about that. For my daughter, she's my oldest, so she, like I mentioned, she went through K, 1 and 2, and she, I would say, is a bit more, reading like came naturally for her, and at this point, she's going to 3rd grade. I would say she's she's an advanced reader for her grade and age. So all of the curriculum in the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts through the years, she's handled very well and been able to take in all the information. Even though in my opinion, the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts is advanced, I feel like their level K curriculum is more like a 1st grade level and so on like that. Their 2nd grade is more like 3rd and 3rd is more like 4th, which is probably the reason why my daughter is reading at such an advanced level. Since reading has come so easy for her, she's handled, like I said, the advanced, very full, robust curriculum that I feel like is pretty loaded down with rules and things that they need to keep in their head while they're reading. You know, it's not as simple as you know, sounding things out and grammar and spelling and that sort of thing. There's a lot of rules and all those things, you know, that you have to learn about. So switching gears, talking about my boys, I have twin boys that are 6. They're about to be 7 next month. So last year they pretty much completed 1st grade. I was calling it like K/1st, but really it was pretty squarely 1st. They did the Good and the Beautiful level K, but as I mentioned, I feel like it's very advanced, and I think most people say that. So they are not as, like, reading hasn't come as easy to them. So it's been a bit more of a struggle. Things that my daughter was doing maybe when she was like 4 or 5, they're just now able kind of to do. One of my boys has really taken off this summer and is reading pretty much everything. But that didn't happen until the summertime. So leading up to that, like as we finished up the school year, he was still like struggling a bit. Both of the boys were struggling. So it's kind of cool that I've been able to go through this language arts curriculum both with a child that where reading comes really naturally to them, as well as someone who has to work a little harder for it. Last year, I would say that with my boys, while I do feel like the curriculum served us well and did teach them the, basics of reading, writing, grammar, spelling, sight words, that kind of thing. I also feel like because it is such a full and robust curriculum, it overloaded their minds with too much, too fast. So my daughter handled it fine, and she could take in all of the rules, spelling rule number 1, spelling rule number 2, all those things. But my sons definitely had a harder time with that, and it just kind of gave them too much to think about, trying to keep track, and then I felt like they weren't making great progress, that sort of thing. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying with that, kind of comparing between a child that is reading comes more easily, someone who struggles a little bit, that sort of thing. So you can kind of gauge, like maybe for your family, if you think that something like this would work for you. If you're looking for videos that look inside of these curriculums, I'll link them in the description box down below. They're probably on my other channel that I moved over to like a DIY channel. But I'll link them in the description box down below. So if you just want to see like all about the curriculum and what's inside here, I'll put those links down there for you. Now, wrapping up the video, I am going to share about overall what we thought of this curriculum last year, how it worked for us, and then whether or not we're going to be using it in this coming school year. Now, I also want to say that last year was a unique school year for us because if you don't follow us on our homesteading, like farming channel, which is Generation Acres Farm, you can follow our journey over there. We purchased acreage last year. And ever since then, we've been working really hard. We closed on it in like October. We put a contract on it though in June. And so it has consumed a lot of our time. So my husband and our minds, our like energies and things, we've had to like split our time, whereas we weren't used to doing that. So I feel like that added a bit of stress to our school year, even just like a mental load for me of like, thinking about like, is this person gonna do what they're supposed to do this week to prep for this thing that's happening, to check the soil for the septic and the well and the driveway and permits and so many things. And so I feel like that had something to do with it as well. But I'm gonna say that overall, I felt like even for my daughter, even though she was capable of doing the stuff in the level 2 and she could handle it pretty well, I feel like honestly, it took the joy out of homeschooling a little bit. I know that's kind of harsh to say, but I feel like the load was just too heavy for all 3 of my kids, both my boys and my daughter. Especially near the end of the level 2 book, where they're just talking so much about rules and so many things that she's having to keep in her head and remember. It just felt like a little bit of an overload of information for her. And so she was frustrated by it. And so she was frustrated by that, which of course made our time doing homeschool a lot less peaceful and joyful, those things that we want in our homeschools. So I do feel like because of how rich the curriculum is and how full of content it is, it was just too much for us. It was too much, and I felt like it became, especially like around the first of the year, it became like a, come here, sit down, let's just quickly do this, like get this out of the way, like so I don't have to worry about it, so we can get the tears or whatever out of the way, and then we'll move on with our day. Probably I should have, if I was thinking more clearly at the time, I should have addressed it and said, okay, we need to move on to something else or simplify things, something like that. But we were going a million different directions at the time, so I was just like, let's just get through this. We'll do the best that we can, and wrap up the school year. So I hope all of that made sense, and I hope it was helpful. I know when I share curriculums that we're using, I do also feel you know, when we're excited, I'm sharing and I'm excited about it and the school year's coming and there's all this excitement, I also feel an obligation to share when it doesn't work well for us. So while it has worked well for us for years in the past, this past year it did not. So we are actually not going to be continuing with the Good and the Beautiful language arts this coming year. Now that doesn't mean that we will never go back to it. I know I've said in past videos that I couldn't picture us ever leaving the Good and the Beautiful language arts, which is true because I have loved so much about this through the years. But when something stops working for you, I think you just know it. And there are so many options out there to choose from that there is no shame in going and finding something else that's going to work better for you and your children. So we're not using the Good and the Beautiful language arts for this coming school year, but I have chosen a new curriculum and I am very, very excited about it. So right after this video, I'm going to be filming all about the curriculum that we're going to be using for this coming school year. It's completely different than we've ever done before, and I'm so excited about it. We have some big changes coming up. We're going to be moving to an RV. So I'm hopeful, just for like hopefully just a few months while the our house gets finished being built on our acreage that I was just talking about. I'm hopeful that this is just going to kind of simplify things and make things more peaceful, more joyful, more fun in our homeschool. So right after this video, like I said, I'm going to film that one and I'll have that up on this channel. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and then turn on the little bell notification so you get notified when I upload new videos so you don't miss any. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to what I had to say about how the Good and the Beautiful has worked for us over the years and this past year. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, of course, you can always leave them in the comments down below. I always respond to every single comment and I love to hear from you guys. So again, thanks for watching this video today and I will see you in my next one. Bye.